in the comments, oh, I'm never having sex again because I'm not, just the thought of getting naked with someone, I'm just not going to do it. Why do you think that is? Is it a fear of getting naked? Thank you so much for joining us today on Second Act TV. Today, I'm so happy to introduce a new guest to Second Act, transformational coach and best-selling author of Loving the Whole Package, Shed the Shame and Live Life Out Loud, Junie Moon. Junie, thank you so much for being here today.
I am so thrilled to be here. I love your show, and it's such an honor. So thank you.
Well, we're going to have a good conversation today. And I think the best way to introduce you to our audience is let's focus on a topic that comes up over and over and over again on this channel, especially when we talk about relationships after 50, finding new love, getting intimate again, and that is the hesitancy or really out and out fear of getting naked. And you not only understand that and how that develops, but you took that to a whole other level of facing your fear. So let's start with your story and really what was the catalyst of your book. What did you do?
Okay, so I did something that most people would be like, I'm never going to do that. And you don't have to. I got naked and I got body painted for the whole world to see. And I made a mini documentary about body image and body shame. And it even went to film festivals. And I literally was seeing myself naked on this big screen. And it was hard enough to like send it out to YouTube. And I'm sitting here going, I'm on a friggin' big screen here naked. I did it. And the reason I did it was frankly, because I could. I had an opportunity to be body painted by a well-known body painter. And I said yes. And then I went, oh, what did I just say? Because he painted naked people. And I realized where I had come from terror of being seen naked, unable to go to pool parties, not knowing what to wear, being able to just connect to another person. So when I realized things had shifted for me, I knew I had to share that message. So I pushed myself, I stretched myself, and I did this film.
Almost like a graduation. You faced your fear and now you graduated. And that was a celebration.
Yeah, and now I'm in graduate school because it's still going on to some extent.
I love it. I'll link to the documentary. It's really interesting to see. And there'll be a lot of different opinions on it, as I'm sure you already have gotten. Let's talk about what happens to us as we age. We develop this fear, or well, I don't know, maybe we've always had it, but we're hesitant to have anybody see us.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that about maybe we've always had it, because I kind of think we have, I don't know that many people, especially women, that even at the youngest of age was like, yes, I'm perfect the way I am. They're going to love me, However, as we got older in our culture, I believe it gets harder and more challenging because of the conditioning of how we're supposed to look. And now we're older, our things are dropping, things aren't as perky, there are lines and, scars and different things that have us thinking that something's wrong with us and we're not lovable the way we are, because we're seeing everywhere, media and TV shows and all these people, even them, like, let me nip tuck so that I can even get work and have value. And I think we've lost value as we get older.
Well, and we're told that over and over and over again, and I can identify with that. I mean, I've certainly I had a similar experience to you. I had a graduation party too that we're not going to talk about. I've talked about it before, but I
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I understand the conditioning, and I think most of the people watching do. The fact of the matter is, though, it is conditioning. It is up here, and I think acknowledging that is important instead of just saying, "Oh, you gotta love your body. You gotta do the how you gotta tell me how to get there."
Exactly.
How do men fit into this? I actually came across an article that said that the whole body image thing is getting worse for men than it is for women.
I have not read that yet, but I'm not surprised. Yeah, I've had some really powerful conversations with men recently that say, yeah, I'm still feeling it too. I mean, more of them, it's, can I get it up? Am I going to be able to perform? And I think that's their biggest concern, at least one of them. However, I was in a hot tub a few years ago with a dear male friend of mine. We both got in the buff, and we were sitting in the hot tub, and he says, Junie, I got to tell you, I was a little uncomfortable getting naked with you because of my belly. He had a substantial belly, and he was like, I have a lot of shame around my belly. We were able to have that conversation. So men and women hold a lot of shame around how we look. And it's because, like you said, the conditioning, because it's everywhere and it's continual. And everywhere we look, it's like if you try this new drug or you do this new exercise or Pilates on the wall or whatever it is, that your body's going to be then perfect, which then, of course, tells us we're not okay the way
we're
we
not
are.
okay. So what do we do about it? How do we approach this? How can we get comfortable getting naked?
Well, great question. And let me first say, you can. If I can do it, seriously, you can do it. And I've helped so many of my clients do it. So there's hope. So let's just start there. I think the first place to really begin is to just know that there are ways to undo the programming. There are ways that we really can do that inner healing so that we can relax and love ourselves. And again, it's, there's a lot out there going, write those affirmations, look in that mirror and go, I love myself. I love myself. And that can take us up to a certain point because that's our conscious mind. But then we have that whole realm of 95% subconscious going, no, not really. Not you. You're ugly. Who's going to want you? So the first place, I call it my triple A. The first place is just to be aware that you're even feeling it. And most people are aware. Oh my God, we're getting close to being intimate. Oh my God, I really like this person. I'm really scared. Well, be aware that there's something going on and go, okay, I'm feeling some things here. What's that about? And not just shove it under the carpet and go to Netflix or numb out in some way, because that's what we do when we're uncomfortable. We distract ourselves. And to some extent that works until we have to get naked. So the first thing is to just be gentle with yourself and allow yourself to be aware that there's something going on. There's discomfort.
And that's okay, because a lot of the body image people, or when I read things, or the campaigns, it's just it is love yourself and do. So and you're right, in the back of your head you don't believe that, and it's okay to acknowledge that, which is what I love about your message, is that we're all normal. One, being uncomfortable naked, and two, it's okay that we don't love our body, and we're working on it.
Absolutely. And vulnerability, when we can really be vulnerable and be transparent, that is intimacy. Into me, see, let me share what's going on. And so perhaps you have a conversation before you get naked with that person. Hopefully you are mostly comfortable in that realm. And if you're not, that might be a conversation with them, or at least, okay, I need to get some support for myself. And then just piggybacking on the self-love thing. Yes, most people I speak to will say, yeah, I do love myself. And what I've come to start saying is self-love in action. So it's not just, yes, I love myself, but how are you truly loving yourself? What are you doing? And so the AAA again is aware of something's uncomfortable, and then allow yourself to feel the fear, allow yourself to feel the sadness of, maybe, they're not going to like me the way I am, and I'm going to be rejected. What are the thoughts? Allow yourself to be aware and feel what's going on inside, because then you could take some really powerful actions, which is the third step. And perhaps love in action is saying to that inner critic, maybe next to you, going, enough. I don't need to hear that. I am lovable just the way I am. And to do a different self-talk and start to break down the conditioning. I mean, I do full processes with people. However, this is a first step to be able to go, wait a second, I'm not being nice to myself. I'm not talking nicely to myself. Enough.
And it does take action. Like walking around naked in your house, but just by yourself. You don't have to, just being comfortable, being naked. I'm interested to hear what our men have to say about this. We have a very big, over 50% male audience. And I think this is an important conversation for them to hear as well. Yes, it does. The whole body image thing does affect women more so than it does men. I think men are becoming more conscious of it, maybe because there's such effort, such movement behind body image for women. The other thing I want to say, you said, here our fear, like those fears come up, put them to rest. And I agree. I think, why did that come up? Where did they come from? And isn't it okay, though, to still want to do something about it? I mean, if something bothers you about your body, can't you fix it? Is that a bad thing?
I love that question because that's another level of shaming that's happening in our culture. Oh my God, she has to do all that to her face and nip tuck and whatever. Can't she just love herself? And the reverse. I have a dear friend and I love her to pieces. We joke about how different we are. And she's one of those, you have those 11s, you probably could do a little Botox and, and I sit with like, well, and I have sat with it. Like, do I want that? Do I not want that? I think it keeps coming back to, can we have compassion for our own journey and each other's choice? Because why should I say, I really, you can't you just love yourself the way you are? You're aging, how blessed you are to be that age. Well, she's having her own journey. So I don't truly have any judgment about what people decide to do with their own body, if it's working for them and they're feeling good about themselves.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. You have to understand that. I mean, if you're afraid to get naked, we miss one of the best things in life, intimacy.
Yeah.
I mean, I see it. That's what I said at the top of the show in the comments. Oh, I'm never having sex again because I'm not. Just the thought of getting naked with someone, I'm just not going to do it. Why do you think that is? Is it a fear of getting naked?
The biggest piece that I see is that many women that I work with haven't had a new partner in decades.
Yes.
They're leaving a relationship, a marriage that they were with for 20, 30 years, or somebody died and suddenly they're out there for the first time after being with their childhood sweetheart. And now they're not young. They are older and more seasoned. However, oh my God, I don't look like that. And it's vulnerable and it is scary. And it really comes, not only the starting over thing, it's, am I going to be loved the way I am now? Because I'm not the same person. My body has changed. I've given birth. There are all these things. And so that adds another layer to the, oh my gosh, I'm going to be naked. Yeah. Well, now I'm going to be naked. And now I'm 50, 60, 70. Things have changed. So people are scared. People are scared about what will people think and will I be rejected?
Are you still scared of getting naked? Where are you now with all this?
I can't say I'm okay. I'm transparent. I'll be totally honest. I see it as a spectrum. Okay. So from I'm never taking my clothes off and turn the lights off to woo. All right. So I would say I'm about 85% near the woohoo. And then, and then the 85 goes to the 100 woohoo, depending, time and being with a partner. I have my moments. I'm not scared. I can sometimes feel a little uncomfortable. And then I listen. I do that AAA and I listen. Is this, am I ready to take off my clothes with this person? Have I had these conversations that I need to have with this potential partner? So, the long and short of it is not as much as I used to be, not a fraction of where I used to be. And there are moments where I'm like, okay, I still have some discomfort and I need to love myself up even more.
I just love the way you so openly share, and I mean, you're just out there. You walk the talk the whatever.
I'm out there for sure.
And I appreciate that, and I think that reinforcing the fact that we are afraid to be exposed, literally, is. You're not alone. So in your journey to being comfortable with getting naked, were there any specific things you did, any highlights, any tips you can give anyone?
Well, in addition to the inner journey, because that was huge, to really love myself and have good self-care, one of the surprising things was being on a nude beach. There's a nude beach in New Jersey, and it's clothing optional. So, you don't have to be naked. Yeah. However, it was such an interesting experience for me, certainly the first time, because it was just bodies, people of all ages and sizes. And it took the shame off of me, because I looked down and I looked around and I'm like, we're just human beings having this experience. And there's no such thing as friggin' perfect. And it just, we're here we're humans. We're humans.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, since you shared that, I'll share. That was, we did that, about, I don't know, 5 years back or so. We found a clothing optional resort, which is, for some reason, I really wanted to do that. It was like my graduation, and it was enlightening. And I found this super interesting. The majority of people there were over 50, 60, 70, 80. And I know there's people out there right now going, oh God, I would never do that. Well, I don't want to see, you just have to be in it to understand, wow, this is okay.
I totally get it, because that's a big piece that helped me as well. Most of the time we're covered up, and just even thinking about that, we cover up our bodies. We don't see each other. So there's all the mental gymnastics that we have about each other. What I found was it took so much shame off of my own body, my beliefs around my own body, because it was just people. We're just people. And to your point, it was mostly 50s, 60s and above as well. And all shapes and all sizes, human beings. And it made me drop into I'm one of them, and it did a lot of healing for me to really see that we're all so similar and unique, and it's all good.
Yeah, exactly. Junie, thank you so much for being here and starting this conversation. There's so many more things I want to talk with you about. I will link to all of your information, of course, to your book. It's wonderful. Lots of great advice. Will get you thinking about what we talked about today. You have your own podcast and YouTube channel. I'll link to all that too. And you're, as we said, a transformational coach. So if anybody wants to get a hold of you directly, I'll have a link to that as well. I would encourage you to do so. Junie is just so much fun to talk to. So again, thank you. And I look forward to our next conversation on Second Act TV.